can wish for it or you can work for it.
You gotta work for greatness. If you ain't working, you should be working. Come on, let's work.
Welcome to Confessions of a Workaholic, where we share the untold success secrets of fearless female entrepreneurs who are obsessed with success. This, of course, is your host, Koereyelle, back again with another solo episode. Y'all know how I feel about these solo episodes. They just do something to my spirit. And as always, I am excited to be able to empower, inspire, and encourage you to get that ass to work. Now, if you are tuning into Confessions for the very first time, I don't know where you have been, but this party has been rolling for quite some time, and I have truly been blessed to be able to share this platform with some of the most amazing, inspirational women. So if you have missed any of the fabulous 42 episodes of Confessions, you can definitely check them out on iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Google Play, and my solo episodes are also available on YouTube. So shout out to everybody who is tuning in online on YouTube. All right, now y'all know that I like to start my solo episodes out with these get your mind right moments, right? I literally wrote a book on getting your life together, and part of getting your life together is getting your mind right. But before we get into this week's get your mind right moment, I gotta just warn you that you gotta get your money right. You gotta start stacking those coins, because my signature event, Work, Pray, Slay Weekend, is returning to ATL this November 2nd through 4th. And I cannot stress enough how amazing, how game-changing, how life-changing this conference is. So if you know that you are a woman who is about her business, you are ready to invest in becoming the woman that God created you to be, and you want to connect with other women who are like-minded, like-hearted, like-spirited, and on their journey of success, Work, Pray, Slay Weekend is like no other. And so you definitely want to save the date, start stacking those coins. We will be releasing early bird tickets. They're going to be on sale soon. We're working on a brand new fabulous Work, Pray, Slay website. But in the meantime, and in between time, you can definitely go ahead and get on that waiting list at WorkPraySlay.com so that you'll be the first to be able to purchase your early bird ticket. All right, so let's talk about getting your mind right. This is an opportunity for me to just share a little word of wisdom, a little piece of advice, something that's related to something that I've been going through, right? And for me, I've been very transparent about my journey. I've been talking a whole lot on social media, and to my email list, I've been talking a lot about leveling up, which is what our topic for episode 42 is all about. But in terms of leveling up, the one thing that I had to realize that kind of caused some friction in my life is that everything ain't for everyone, right? Everything is not for everyone. And I really had to realize that I'm not for everybody, and that that's okay, right? As we evolve, as we grow, as we get closer and closer to becoming who we were born to be, things change. Our surroundings change, our circles change, and sometimes you have to purge people, you got to purge habits, you got to purge stuff that could be standing in your way, holding you back and keeping you stagnant, right? And so in 2017 was a year of purging for me. I had to purge people. I had to purge relationships, personal relationships, as well as professional relationships. I had to get uncomfortable, right? Because sometimes the comfort zone is where we die. Comfort zones is where dreams die, right? Sometimes complacency and just being comfortable, just being used to doing the same things that we've been doing because we've been doing them the same way, that can literally stop our success. That can hold us back from becoming the woman or the man that God created us to be, from truly living up to our full potential. And so I had to shake things up. I had to get uncomfortable. I had to realize that sometimes you got to let people go so that you can grow. All right? Everybody can't go with you. Everybody who is not adding value to the vision, sometimes they got to get voted off the island, right? And so in 2017, in my business and just in life, I had to vote some people off the island. I had to realize that it's going to be you or it's going to be me. It's going to be me or it's going to be them. And at the end of the day, you got to take care of your star player. You got to realize that you might have to be solo for a season, ladies, right? You might have to take some time off from dating. You might have to, get a team. Sometimes the shaking up comes in. You've been doing everything on your own for so long. Now it takes some other people. Now you got to recruit some people. Now you got to get some help, get a dream team going so that you can get to your destination. But it's okay to understand that everything ain't for everyone, that everybody can't go, and that it does not mean that you are moving in the wrong direction or you are not on a blessed path because you're starting to lose people. All right? It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to be so original that everybody doesn't understand. When I first started the Single Wives Club, I used to call people, I would say that they were nearsighted and I was farsighted because I had this gift that I didn't have to see it in the physical for me to see it in my imagination. The Single Wives Club was alive in my mind way long before I manifested it. People didn't believe in the vision. People didn't see what I was trying to explain to them. People didn't get it, but they didn't have to get it for me to keep going, right? I could not stop and waste time explaining myself, explaining my vision to people who weren't ready to see it. And so I want to encourage you this week by just reminding you that you are not for everybody, and that is okay. Because what's for you cannot be stopped. What's for you will find you. What's meant for you will not miss you. It's impossible. All right? And so I want you to understand that you do not have to beg, you do not have to borrow, you do not have to steal anybody else's shine or go after anybody else's success in order for you to get what God has for you. All right? Everything is not for everyone. So that is your Get Your Mind Right moment of the week. Hopefully it is empowering and encouraging you to stay on your path. Keep your eyes on your prize. Don't worry about who gets it. Don't worry about who's going with you. You just got to make sure you keep going. All right? Everything ain't for everybody, and that is A-okay. Now, in my purge, part of my leveling up came from my purge. It came from me realizing that I was no longer that girl, because I was grown, but I was still very girlish in my business stages, right? I was no longer that girl who was just getting started. I had accomplished some shit. I started looking around and I'm like, you know what? I've grown. I've evolved. Business is booming. They're going to have to put some respect on my name. That's what I decided. And because I decided that it's time for people to start putting some respect on my name, and I'm ready to level up in 2018, I decided y'all got to come with me. My workaholics got to come with me on this journey. I can't level up without you. I truly believe as I learn, as I grow, as I evolve, as I get better, I got to make sure that I'm bringing you all of these lessons, all of this advice, all of this wisdom. And so this week's episode 42, is all about the level up. And because I am a teacher at heart, like I cannot shake that shit for the life of me, I have an acronym that's going to guide us through this conversation of leveling up. And the acronym is for the word rise, because in order to level up, you have to rise to the occasion. All right. So R, the R in rise, and the first step in leveling up means that you got to remember who you are. I just saw Black Panther, and if y'all have not seen it, you got to go see it. Believe the hype. Please believe the hype. It is just as magical as everybody is saying. And one of the most profound parts of the movie, and I'm not going to say, what happened in the scene in case you haven't seen it, but one of the most profound parts was the Black Panther's mother having to remind him. He was in a battle, and she says, son, remember who you are. He was losing. He was about to give up. He was about to be defeated. And those words were so powerful because there have been so many times in my life that I've gotten nervous. I've gotten cold feet. I've started to question myself. I've thought, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm charging too much. Maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe it won't be successful. And then I'm like, nah, babe. You got to remember who you are. You got to go back and read your resume. You got to go back and read your bio. You have to remember the accomplishments that you've achieved. You have to remember your successes. You got to remember your name. You got to remember this queen that your mother birthed. You have to remember that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, right? All of that stuff is not just motivational quotes. Sometimes you got to be your own cheerleader. Sometimes you have to be your own voice of reason. In order to be successful, in order to level up, you have to remember who you are. You have to remember that God has equipped you with a gift that nobody else has. You are able to do something in some way, and can't nobody do it how you do it. I posted something on Instagram the other day and the crowd went wild. I said, I could show you the recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same. And I meant that with every fiber in my being, because nobody can do what I do like I do it. Nobody can do you like you do you. No, people can imitate all day long. People can be inspired all day long, but they cannot duplicate your magic. All right. And so you have to remember who you are before you can talk about leveling up. You have to understand who you were born to be. You have to know who you are and whose you are before you're even able to see who you were born to be, right? Before you can even live up to your potential, you have to understand who you are. And so I want to start there. I want to invite you and encourage you to stop looking at reality TV, stop scrolling through your timeline, and getting so caught up in what everybody else has that you start to think that you don't have enough. God has blessed you with more than enough, not just enough. God has blessed you with more than you know what to do with. All right. And you cannot get so caught up in what everybody else has going on, get so caught up in what it looks like everybody else is doing, that you forget what you were put here to do, that you forget the direction that you are supposed to be going in because you're watching what everybody else is doing. You cannot get so caught up in checking out my shine that you start to believe that God has forgotten about you. He did not. He has gifted you with something so valuable, worth so much money. If you could just keep your eyes on your prize, keep your eyes on your own paper, right? Stay in your own lane and remember who you are. So in order to level up, the first thing you got to do is you got to remember who you are. You cannot get so caught up in watching what everybody else has, watching what everybody else is doing, that you end up wasting your time, wasting your good years, okay? We are living our best lives right now. And if you are not focused on what you were put here to do, you're going to end up wasting your time. All right. So number one, you got to remember who you are. The second thing you got to do if you're really going to level up in 2018, you have to invest in becoming better. You have to be willing to invest in becoming better. All right. It takes so much time, so many hours to become a quote unquote overnight success. There is no such thing. Now you might just start following me on the gram and it looked like I got it going on and you start to think, oh, well, she's young. She couldn't have possibly been doing this for too long. She couldn't have possibly been putting in too much work. How does she get it so fast? And the one thing that I hope that I can just teach you is that no matter how easy it looks on the gram, there is an investment that you will never see that we are putting in. All right. It's an investment of time. It's an investment of energy. It's an investment of a whole lot of money, blood, sweat, and tears in order to be successful. And you have to be willing to invest. Now, I know you've heard that phrase a million times, it takes money to make money, but it takes more than money to make money. It takes a dedication. It takes a drive. It takes so much energy and determination that no matter what comes up, no matter who steps up and tries to stand in your way, no matter who tries to knock you down, you have invested so much in yourself that there's nobody that can knock you off your block. And so whether it means you're investing time, man hours, investing in classes, investing in conferences, investing in coaching, investing in therapy. Some of us just need to start there. You have to be willing to invest in becoming better. And I'm talking about on a daily basis. I paid for my very first coaching program. I think I spent $12,000, right? It ended up being a total waste of money. I was pissed, like pissy pissed. I was real pissed, okay? But that didn't stop me from investing again. It made me think differently. It made me invest in a different way. But just because that one investment didn't necessarily yield a return that I was expecting or hoping for, that doesn't mean that the investment stops there. It's not just a one-time thing. You invest in one class, you take a class and you're good. It's like evolution. You have to continue to evolve. You have to continue to grow. And the only way that you can continue to grow, the only way that you can continue to become better, the only way that you can continue to get closer to becoming the woman that God created you to be and actually leveling up is constantly and consistently investing in yourself. I truly believe that you have to become a lifelong learner in order to live a life that you love. In order to make money, at the very least, just make money, you have to invest in becoming better, because people are always going to be around that's going to know more than you, but are they going to be able to outwork you? Because somebody might have a different skill set than me, but you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to do me better than I can do me, because I'm always investing in myself. Just this week, y'all, and I'm not lying, I kid you not, just this week, I started reading 2 new books. I had 3 sessions now, because I had one this morning, 3 strategy sessions with the new coach that I hired. Even though I'm a coach, I still got a coach. Coaches, the best coaches are getting coached, right? You have to be willing to invest in yourself, the time, the effort, the energy. You got to be willing to invest in becoming better on a daily basis. It never stops. You can never know too much. You can never learn too much. You can never grow too much. Okay? So you have to have that investor's mindset if you are truly going to level up in 2018. So you got to first remember who you are, understand what you've been gifted with, and understand the mission that God has given you. There is some message that you are meant to share, some mission that you were meant to fulfill, something that you were literally born to do. And in order to figure out what that is, you got to remember who you are. You got to go back to the basics. You got to dig really deep, get really quiet, and go within and remember your greatness. Remember your gifts. Remember your skills, your talents, your experiences that have led to you becoming who you are right now. All of that is worth something. Do not shortchange yourself because you don't think that your skills are worthy, just because they don't look like my skills, or just because your story isn't unfolding like my story, you think that you're lacking something. I promise you, you are one decision away. You are one phone call away. You are one email away, one connection away, one relationship away, one yes away from being in the place that you want to be in, from living that life that you've been dreaming about. But you have to be willing to invest in becoming better on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. And then you have to sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit. I love that this is my platform because I can curse. Y'all know I love to curse. I think it just makes the conversation a little bit more colorful. So number 1, you got to remember who you are. Number 2, you have to invest in becoming better. But number 3, you got to sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit. On this journey, there is so much bullshit that is going to get in your way and try to distract you from the things that you are really meant to be doing. And you have to be willing to sacrifice the things that you want to get to the things that you need. You got to be willing to sacrifice good for greater. You got to be willing to sacrifice this little bit that you are holding on to so tight. You got to sacrifice that so God can give you all that he has for you. There are literally blessings with your name on them, but you can't even see them. You can't even get to them because you are so caught up in that little bit that you holding on to that God can't even bless you with what he has for you. You are so stuck settling for that relationship, settling for that man that don't even text you back, settling for that man who don't even take you out. You are so busy wasting your time doing those things that you can't even make room for the man that will appreciate you. You can't even make room for the king that God has literally created for you. You are so stuck on that $32,000 teaching salary that you can't even free up your time to create that six-figure brand. Okay? And so sometimes you have to sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit. Sometimes you got to sacrifice going out with your homegirls this weekend because you know you need to be at the house doing some research for your business. You know you need to be reading that book. You know you need to be having that conversation. So sometimes you have to sacrifice the things that you are comfortable with for the things that God wants to bless you with. All right? You got to give up what you are holding on to so that you can get to what's meant for you. A lot of us are holding on to relationships, friendships, with people just because we're comfortable with them. And if you are going to level up, some of those people can't come with you. I told you at the very beginning, everything ain't for everybody. Everybody can't go. All right. And so you might have to sacrifice some of those relationships that's been standing in your way. You might have to sacrifice, some of those comforts. Some of your relationships are a reflection of where you've been and not where you're going. If everybody in your life is a reflection of that lower level and not that next level, it's time to shake some shit up. It's time to let some people go. It's time to put some people to the side. And that don't mean you can't come back and help them out. But sometimes you got to let those people go so that you can free up yourself mentally. So that you can free up yourself financially. Girl, I can't hang out this weekend. I got to invest in my business. I can't go to the club. I can't buy drinks unless it's free drinks before 12. I can't do it because I have to invest in this ticket. I have to go to this conference. I have to invest in this relationship. All right? Sometimes you have to sacrifice the bullshit. Not even sometimes, all the time. If you are going to be successful, you're going to have to sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit. The stuff that does not matter. The things that won't matter 5 years from now. Get rid of all of that. Because you and your decisions right now and your relationships right now, they're going to be very, very crucial when it comes to what you are putting out, right? Your input determines your output. If you are only putting in negative energy because you're hanging out with negative homegirls, you're only going to output negative. If you are only spending your money on things that are not a worthwhile investment, at the end of the day, you're not going to have any money to invest. And so sometimes it takes a sacrifice. Sometimes you got to give up what you want so that you can get to what you need. Sometimes you got to give up what you are used to so that you can get to what God has for you. Hello, somebody. All right. I came from, the Single Wives Club. So I really love to relate my stories and my lessons to relationships. But I know that this is a podcast for entrepreneurs. But let me just say this. Ladies, I am a living, breathing witness to what can happen when you stop settling for less than you deserve in relationships. I was settling for so many clowns that I did not even have time or space or the mental capacity to make space for my king. And the man I got now, y'all, I could not have dreamed of the compatibility. I'm not going to say he's perfect. I'm not going to say this is a perfect relationship, but the compatibility. And I know that it was possible because I was willing to stop settling, because I was willing to sacrifice dates. Some of y'all just love going to dinner. I was willing to sacrifice those pointless dinner dates to save up my time for somebody with some real potential. Okay. I would have never been able to get out of that $32,000 career if I was not willing to sacrifice my comfort. There was a lot of uncomfortable years before I got to that six figures, right? There was a lot of sacrifice before I got there. I can tell y'all the story, the shameful, it ain't shameful now, it was shameful at the time, of me having to rent out my condo, go live in my brother's basement so that I could save money, so that I could sustain my business. I can talk to y'all about sacrifice all day long. No, I don't post about it all day on the gram. I like to show y'all, the good stuff. That's all the gram is. The gram is nothing but the good. So you can't see what's really going on if all you see is the gram. But there is so much sacrifice behind the success. There are so many things that I've had to give up in order to get to what I truly deserved. And it was worth every sacrifice. But some of y'all just ain't willing to sacrifice. Some of y'all want to be comfortable. And if you want to be comfortable, stay at your job. If you want to be comfortable, keep collecting that check, because entrepreneurship is not comfortable. Entrepreneurship is all about sacrifice. It's a daily sacrifice because there is no security in entrepreneurship. Nobody is writing my check if I'm not out here getting to it. All right. You got to put your feet to the streets if you are going to be a successful entrepreneur. And so you definitely are going to have to sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit if you are going to level up in 2018. Last but not least, one thing that you have to understand, and I have to stress the importance of this. Yes, you have to remember who you are. Yes, you have to, on a daily basis, invest in becoming better. And yes, you must sacrifice the bullshit for the real shit. But guess what else? Your energy is everything. Energy is everything. I mean, the law of attraction is so real. It's realer than real. There have been so many opportunities, so many relationships, so many connections, so many blessings that I've been able to manifest just from pouring positive energy into my work. Positive energy equals positive expectations, and those positive expectations will yield positive experiences. All right. But the positive energy, and this is the key, this is the part that I think a lot of people miss, because you could say affirmations all day until you blue in the face, but positive energy comes from within. As long as you are waiting on somebody to come along and make you happy, you're going to be waiting. As long as you are waiting on someone to come along and preach positivity to you on a daily basis, you can get on YouTube and listen to Tony Robbins, listen to Michael Beckwith, right? Listen to Esther Hicks. You can listen to that all day long, but until you learn how to empower and encourage yourself, until you learn how to be your own biggest cheerleader, until you learn how to be your own coach, your own mentor, until you realize that all of that goodness has to come from within, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to be wasting a lot of time, wasting all your good years if you're waiting on somebody to come along and save you with their good energy. You got to figure out how to get that good energy rising from within. All right? Because that good energy is what you will use to operate from a place of faith on a daily basis. Good energy is what you need to get that faith. And then you know that faith creates opportunities. Faith creates every opportunity that you could ever need. It already has your name on it, and you believe in it is what's going to help you get to it. Your blessing is already out there, but you got to pass this level before you can get to that level. And this level requires you believing that it's out there. You just got to believe it's possible. Part of getting to it is just believing that it's there. And I am here to tell you that every single thing that you have envisioned for yourself, it's out there. God wouldn't allow you to see it if he ain't going to allow you to get to it. All right, but you have to first believe that you've already been equipped with everything that you need. You already have everything that you need to get everything that you want. You just got to be willing to do what it takes. And part of what it takes is having that positive energy. And no, I'm not just talking about affirmations. I'm talking about meditating. I'm talking about believing, having active faith. Even if the vision doesn't match the view, even if the things that I said I wanted at the beginning of the year, the things that I put on my vision board, even if I have not manifested those things today, that does not mean that I'm about to lose faith. That does not mean that I'm about to start questioning God. That does not mean that I'm about to start questioning my gifts. That does not mean that I think I'm no longer worthy. That means I still got some work to do. That's all that means, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when you know God, like I know God, when you have seen God work, you cannot convince me that I ain't the next Oprah. All right? I don't care if I don't look like it today. I don't care if my bank account ain't matching it today. There is not a person in the world. God would literally, look, God would have to come down and tell me himself, girl, it just ain't in the cards. Because I am not going to believe it any other way. I'm not going to believe it. You can't tell me that the things that I see for myself are not coming to fruition. My faith is creating those things on a daily basis. All right. And so you have to understand that your energy is everything, that you can say it all day long, but until you feel it, until you believe it, until it is pouring out of you, It doesn't really matter. You have to practice this on a daily basis. You have to understand that your energy creates expectations. You also have to understand the other thing you got to know about energy is that energy is transferable. So that's why we got to go back up to sacrificing the bullshit for the real shit. Realizing that everything ain't for everybody. Realizing that everybody can't go, because some of the people in your life, some of those haters who you really calling your homegirls, they're bringing their negative energy into your shit. And you're wondering why you're stuck. Because the people who you are running your ideas by are not business minded. So they don't know. The people you're running your ideas by, they wish they had the ideas that you have. So they're going to keep hating on you. They're going to keep telling you why you're not ready, why you're not worthy, why it's not time, why you need to wait. Energy is transferable, and you might be stuck because of your circle. And so you have to realize that your dreams are worth it. Your dreams are worth more than what you're currently experiencing. I'm ready to give this shit up, right? I'm ready to give up this life that I'm living right now to get to that next level. You have to be willing to give up what you are comfortable with in order to get what God has for you. And so this year for me, 2018 is all about leveling up. All right? Less talk, more action. Less wishing, more working. I'm about that action in 2018. All right. And I am on a mission to make sure that you are getting that ass to work too, because you already have it all. You already have everything you need to get everything you want if you are willing to do what it takes. I hope that you are feeling inspired, empowered, and encouraged to live a life that you love, because you deserve it. I love you. See you next week.